Unit 2, Lesson 2. Our guiding questions throughout this unit are: how does a person's perspective influence their opinion? And why should we respect the opinions of others? Let's take a closer look at that first question. How does a person's perspective influence their opinion? The word perspective means a person's viewpoint based on who they are, what they do, and where they live. The word influence means the power to sway or change something in one direction or another. So how does a person's viewpoint, or who they are, influence or change what they think about something? That's what that first question is asking, and we're going to look at it in the context of the American Revolution, whether or not people were patriots or loyalists. The second guiding question is: why should we respect the opinions of others? Respect, of course, means to admire, understand, and treat well. So in the context of this story, there are people that have different perspectives or different opinions about the Revolutionary War. The question is, why should we respect the opinions of others? So in the story, we'll see characters and we'll wonder, are they respecting the opinions of others or are they not? And why should we? Your learning targets today: I can summarize Act 1, Scenes 1 and 2 of Divided Loyalties. I can make inferences about characters in Divided Loyalties using evidence from the text. I can read aloud Divided Loyalties with purpose and accuracy. And I can take summary notes using the somebody in wanted, but, so, then strategy, and I can use those notes to write a summary of Scene 3. Refer back to your summary notes for Scenes 1 and 2 in order to write the summary for those scenes. If you have not already done so, you can write your summary of Scenes 1 and 2 now using the sentence starters that I have below, filling in the blanks with your summary notes. The blank family lived in blank blank, where they ran a blank selling goods like tea and paper at the beginning of the American blank. Blank Barton is a patriot, but his mother and father are blank. He wants his mother and father to join the blank cause because people are refusing to blank blank. His parents are loyal to blank, so they refuse. Then some townspeople blank. And for that last blank, you're going to be filling in a whole sentence of information from your summary notes. Pause the video at any time to complete the work in your workbook. This play is all about different loyalties. The title itself is called Divided Loyalties, so we know that characters in the story are on different sides of the American Revolution. And so we are analyzing some of the main characters in our play to determine their perspective on the American Revolution. In order to determine their perspective, we need to look at the things that the characters do and say in the play that help support or provide evidence for that perspective. The characters that we'll be analyzing are Robert, William, and Mary Barton, looking for words that they say in the text that help us figure out their perspective on the American Revolution. Robert Barton, looking back in the text, we see that he's said things such as, he's loyal to Great Britain and has represented us well, but those rebels, the patriots, call him a traitor. That quote is found on page 10. He has also said, William, we are loyal to the king, and that's final. That quote is found on page 16. These words and actions help us figure out that Robert is a loyalist, somebody who was loyal to the king. William Barton, Robert's son, said things like, we should not have British soldiers watching our every move. That quote was found on page 11. And father, you should consider taking a loyalty oath to the patriot cause. and that quote was found on page 16. These quotes help us figure out that William is siding with the Patriots. His viewpoint or his perspective is that the Patriots are on the correct side, that they should be fighting for the American Revolution. And finally, Mary Barton, some of the things that she said in the text were, the governor simply supports King George, as he should. That quote was found on page 10. She also said, it is the rebels who are traitors. That was on page 11. And finally on page 13, she said, we are loyal to the king. These are all quotes that help us figure out that Mary is a loyalist. Homework. Read Act 1, Scene 3. Complete the summary notes and summary of Scene 3. Divided Loyalties. The Barton Family During the American Revolution by Gare Thompson, illustrated by Barbara Kawak. Today you'll be reading Act 1, Scene 3, Outside the Barton Store. The Barton Family. Mary Barton, the mother, Abigail Barton, the daughter, Ben Barton, the youngest son, Robert Barton, the father, William Barton, the oldest son, and other characters, narrator, Mrs. Smith, Mr. Lawson, soldier, customer, crowd members 1 through 5, shopkeepers 1 and 2. Before we start reading, just a quick reminder that acts are how a play is divided up, like the parts of a book. The setting is where and when the play takes place. The scenes are smaller parts within the acts, like the chapter of a book. And the narrator, which you'll see is speaking first, is someone who explains what is happening in the play, but they are not a character that interacts with other characters in the play. Act 1, Scene 3, Outside the Barton Store. It seems that there's no time left for debate. Everyone has chosen sides. In New Jersey, people have been swearing allegiance to the independence movement by taking loyalty oaths. The situation is growing tense and even dangerous. Those who refuse to take the oath could be tarred and feathered. This means that hot, sticky tar is poured over them. Then feathers are thrown on to humiliate them further. If they don't die from the scorching tar, they are severely burned. As the scene opens, a crowd of patriots is approaching the Barton store. The crowd members want to take the law into their own hands. They want to judge and pass sentence on Robert Barton, a staunch loyalist. The crowd pushes into the store. Come with us, Mr. Barton. Your days of loyalty to Britain are now over. What do you want with me? Since when is loyalty to Britain considered a crime? You know why we're here. We have come to ask you a simple question. Are you loyal to the king, or do you support the patriot cause? My views and opinions are my own. I will not share them with the public. You have no power over me. Leave my shop this instant, or I'll send for the soldiers. I don't see any British soldiers here to protect you. Do you see any men? No. I'm not going anywhere, and I'm not giving in to an unruly mob. Yes, you are. We outnumber you, Mr. Barton, and you will tell us what we want to know. William, come here, please. So, Robert Barton, subject of Great Britain, how do you plead? Are you still loyal to the British crown? I am. We only have one ruler here, and it is King George III. He is guilty as charged. Tar and feather the traitor! Tar and feather for him! Get that tar good and hot! Leave my father alone. He's a good man. He has paid his taxes and given most of you credit in his store. He has stood by you in hard times. Leave him alone, or I'll be forced to use this gun. Stop it now. This is not the answer. Look, I'm a patriot. All of you know that. I want us to be independent, but attacking Robert Barton will not solve our problems. Our issues are with Great Britain, not Robert Barton. We have no reason to quarrel with this man. He's right. Attacking our neighbors won't win you any support. Mr. Barton has always been a good friend to us all. Stop and think about what you're doing. Leave him alone. But he is with Britain, not with us. This is not a fair trial. This is an unruly mob. We are fighting for freedom and independence. In the name of freedom, let him go. You may have escaped this time, Barton, but your days in Burlington are numbered.
Let's go home now. But first, I think we'd better board up the store. Thank you, friends, and thank you, William, for standing up for me. That was very brave. No matter what sympathy I feel for the Patriots, I will always defend my family. I hope you know that, Father. I was really frightened, though. I was frightened, too. I thought they were going to hurt you, Father. Oh, Father, what are we going to do? It seems as if the whole town is against us. We will carry on the best we can. We will get through this, don't worry. That crowd of men was frightening, but there are others in this town who are on our side. William, give me a hand with these boards. We need to cover up the windows. I'll get the hammer and nails. I'll try to find Mother. Father, these men are serious. Don't you think you should begin supporting the Patriot cause? Never. A mob of angry rebels trying to threaten me has only made my belief stronger. I will not let a bunch of bullies tell me what I can and can't believe. But your life may be in danger, and what if no one decides to shop in our store anymore? If that is the way it has to be, then so be it. I would sooner live on the street than go against what I think is right. And listen to Act 1, Scene 3. It's time to fill out the somebody in wanted but so then summary notes. I put on here the reminder of what each part means. So the somebody would be the narrator or the character in the text. In is the setting or the place where the text is set. The wanted, what they wanted or hoped for. But, the problem or obstacle that happened. So the outcome or the resolution, and then the then is what happens to move the story forward. So this scene is pretty straightforward. You can go back and listen to it again if you need to, but fill out the summary notes and then write your summary using those notes by putting them in this paragraph form. Good luck.